Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mom's Talk Climate. We're going to give just a few seconds to let folks join. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year, and welcome to Mom's Talk Climate. I'm McTeer Toney, National Field Director for Mom's Clean Air Force, and really excited to kick off the new year. It's a brand new year. 2019 has great things in store, and we're kicking it off with our Mom's Talk Climate. So wonderful to have you to join us. So we're just going to give a few seconds here to let a couple of people get into our feed here. We're doing it. We got a great lineup today. So very excited. It's going to be some good things that are happening, and just going to give us a few moments to say hello to all of our folks that are joining us live. Thank you for joining us here at Mom's Talk Climate. It's 2019. Mom's Clean Air Force is up and ready to rock and roll for this brand new year. So many great new things that are happening and coming online. So hey, we're going to get started. I am thrilled and excited about 2019. Let me tell you, 2019 is definitely going to be the year of the mama, because moms are out in full force, and we're going to be working truly on behalf of our children, protecting them from climate, fighting air pollution, and just being awesome, because that's what we do. So thank you so much for joining. It's been given just a few more moments to let people get logged in. If you would, please tell us where you're watching us from. We love to know that we've got people that are watching us from all over the country. So drop us a little line in the comments and just say, hey, I'm on the West Coast, or I'm joining you from Washington, D.C. or Washington State. I'm here in beautiful, picturesque Mississippi. So it's a wonderful day out here, and so glad that you're all joining us. Thanks, hi Lynn from Indiana. Thank you for joining us. Thanks. So I hope everything's going well out there and that you're having a great new year. I see Melissa has joined us. Hi, Melissa. I hope everything's going great. Our folks in D.C., hello, Miss Evans in Washington, D.C. Great to see you. Hey, Southern New Jersey is in the house. Yay! Lots of excitement going on. Hey, Southern Illinois. Lots of folks that are coming in and coming online. Hey, want to say to everybody, Happy New Year. I hope you are just as energized and excited as we are here at Mom's Clean Air Force, and ready to get kicked off into a new year. So a few more shout outs. I see Oklahoma, Oregon, Georgia. Wonderful. So glad. And it's snowing in Washington State. Wow. As you can imagine, we don't get a lot of snow in Mississippi, so I know it's probably beautiful. So we have a little different setup today. Hopefully it works, because we have a guest that's going to be joining us in just a few moments to talk about a great new program. But before we get into that, I want to give you some updates. This is Mom's Talk Climate with Mom's Clean Air Force. My name is McTeer Toney. I'm the National Field Director for Mom's Clean Air Force, and I just want to say Happy New Year, and thank you so much for joining us. Remember that we have these every first Tuesday of the month, and we're going to be bringing you information that's happening on climate in and around our country, and even globally, because we know that air pollution has no boundaries, and it's our job to make sure that we're doing the best we can to protect our children from any future climate impacts, and preparing and keeping folks accountable for what they're doing in our climate now and today. Before we get kicked off, I want to address the obvious, which is that our government is in the midst of a shutdown, and it is hurting families across this country. So to all of those government workers that are furloughed, will not or possibly won't receive a paycheck this week, our hearts are out with you. And, if you can, do something to help someone out. This is really the time where it takes all of us working together as a community, because despite the fact that our federal government and our president right now does not seem to in any way be concerned about the American children that are being impacted so negatively we as parents, as moms, know that it's important. So, I was just thinking, I travel a lot, and I talked to my husband over lunch. We were talking about what could we do. Even just going through the airport, just taking some gas cards and giving them to TSA workers if that's a possibility. I don't know if it is or isn't, but that's what's on our heart over here. Just finding little ways that we can help people in this difficult time, because we have hearts. We know that children are being impacted, families are being impacted, and it really falls upon us to take care and be our brother's keeper. So I just want you to really think on that during this difficult time, that families, children are being impacted by this shutdown in ways that we have never imagined before. And it's important that we keep the pressure on this administration, this president, to do what's right. Speaking of shutdown, the Environmental Protection Agency is closed. A number of natural parks and resources are all closed. I'm sure you've seen what's happening all over the news and what this impact does to our communities, what it does to our national treasures, and how things are not being enforced right now. And that's an important note to think about and understand, because, when you think about the government being shut down, and particularly the Environmental Protection Agency and what it means for climate issues, there are a lot of enforcement procedures that would usually be taking place right now that are not. What's that mean? That means the police for the environment are not at work. Seriously, think about that. Think about what would happen if the police in your own community were laid off, didn't come to work, weren't monitoring traffic, weren't responding to crimes, weren't investigating crimes. Well, that's what's happening with the government shutdown and the Environmental Protection Agency, because the EPA is one of the agencies that's not been funded. So that means the EPA, as a policing and enforcement agent, they're not even at and doing the job. Really gives industry an opportunity to sort of police themselves and do God knows what. It's important for us to realize that these are the things that we have to watch out for. These are the things that impact our communities. And while it may not seem to matter to this president and this administration, it matters to us. And you know who we have the opportunity to contact? Our senators, our congressmen, to say this is something that's extremely important. So there are three things that I want to put on your plate to be wary of and watch out for over this next month with respect to climate action regulation. Three things that I want you to watch out for. A, the Wheeler nomination. Andrew Wheeler is currently the acting administrator for the Environmental Protection Agency, but he is likely to be nominated, and there may be a hearing before the end of this month, if the government opens back up, that will put him in place as the administrator of EPA. Now, the moms team, all our volunteers, you all were tremendous in helping us to respond to Scott Pruitt when he was the administrator of the EPA and all of the awful things that he was doing in that role. You helped us to get the word out, to get Scott Pruitt out. We're asking you to do it again. Andrew Wheeler, believe it or not, is worse than Scott Pruitt. I know. You're saying to yourself, Heather, that's not possible. How could anybody be worse than Scott Pruitt? The man was going and getting mattresses from hotels and having people do all kinds of crazy stuff. The scary thing about Wheeler, and the reason why Wheeler is worse, Wheeler has been in the agency before. He's a coal lobbyist, and he is wholesale behind so many of the regulations that are being rolled back right now. It is so important that we jump on top of this nomination right now. I am so serious about this. So Andrew Wheeler nomination, watch out for it. This is not something that's going to be on the top of your news networks because, quite frankly, there's a lot of focus that's towards the shutdown, which it absolutely should be. But we don't want you to miss this. We want you to respond to the Andrew Wheeler nomination. He is one of the main people who has certainly been a friend of the coal lobbyists, a friend to make sure that these very important regulations that protect our children get turned back to the benefit of his friends. He has already said out of his mouth that he is making it his business to make sure that we are rolling back regulations. In fact, in an interview that he did, they asked him to name 3 things that he was doing to reduce air pollution, and he couldn't do it. So trust me when I tell you, you can Google Andrew Wheeler to find out just how not a supportive he is of sound environmental policy. We've got to fight this one. We've got to fight this one, folks. The second thing you need to be aware of, Mercury and Air Toxic Standards, or MATS, M-A-T-S. MATS, Mercury and Air Toxic Standards. This is the first regulation for 2019 that they are actively trying to roll back. We've talked about it a little bit before. MATS is the regulation that protects our children from mercury in the air. The main poison, one of the main poisons that's emitted from coal-fired power plants, they're trying to roll back the regulation that protects us and keeps coal-fired power plants from emitting this out into the atmosphere. So important that we fight this. So there will be hearings on this if and when the government opens up, and it's very important that we comment. So you'll please make sure that you go by the Moms Clean Air Force website, www.momscleanairforce.org, right there, because we will have information up on a regular basis about how to add your comments, okay? It's very important that we follow up. So that's number 1 is the Wheeler nomination. We're fighting the Wheeler nomination. Number 2, we are going to comment on the Mercury and Air Toxic Standards to make sure they hear our voice. Third thing for this month that I want you to do, introduce yourself to your new member of Congress. We have a whole new slew of Congress people in. And when I tell you they are fired up and ready to go, they are. And we are ready to go with them. So wherever you are, whoever you are, take a few minutes. It's just a phone call. It's an email. And all you have to do is call and say, hi, my name is, whatever your name is, Heather Toney. I'm a member of Moms Clean Air Force. I just wanted to introduce myself to you and let you know that we are watching to make sure that you are protecting our children and fighting for our kids' health. Simple, 2 seconds. Make sure that you do this in the month of January, okay? These are your armchair activist things to do. 3 things in January, got it? Wheeler, fighting the Wheeler nomination. Mercury and Air Toxic Standards rollback, we're fighting that. And then number 3, you're introducing yourself to Congress. To show you just how important this is, there was a report that came out that showed that just this past year, the amount of emissions that the United States participated in, what we had emitting here in our own country, went up. Okay, everybody else in the world is trying to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Everybody globally. In the U.S., we came out of the Paris Agreement. Our emissions went up by 3.8%. Folks, this is serious. This is not a joke. This is not a game. Every single day we see our children that are struggling to breathe. They have asthma problems. They're dealing with allergies. We're seeing an increase in extreme weather events. And we are the problem here in the U.S. because we are constantly fighting with our own government to make sure that we are protecting and acting on climate. This is the time that we've got to do it. So it's very important that we join in. All right, lots going on. That was my three items for you to do spiel. Now we're going to have a special guest who's going to join us, Shakeila Stuckey James. She is our regional field manager in the Southeast, and she's going to be joining us today to talk about a special program. I am so excited about this. So I am going to add Shakeila now. Actually, we have Shakeila and Dr. Tanya Calhoun, so I'm hoping that so that I can get both of them on. There she is. Hello, Shakeila. How are you?
Hello, good people.
Yay, and say hello to all of our wonderful people out here in Moms Clean Air Force, Moms Talk Climate Land.
And hello, good people. Thank you all for joining us today.
So, Shakeila, we will jump right in and talk about what we have that's going on at Moms Clean Air Force. It says, you are our Southeast Regional Field Manager, and we are super excited and super stoked because we have a new program that's going to be coming online here shortly. And I know it's one that you've been working on near and dear to your heart, and we are so super excited about it. I will let you talk about Community RX.
Yay. So we are super excited about Community RX. And Community RX is Moms Clean Air Force's environmental health justice program. So environmental justice focuses on people of color and impacted communities and how they are impacted by environmental and climate changes. So Moms Clean Air Force is then focusing on specifically the health challenges and health impacts of these injustices. So, with Community RX, we plan on advocating, educating, amplifying, and engaging everyone around these issues. We want to advocate in and around impacted communities. We want to educate everyone on how people of color, specifically African Americans, are disproportionately affected and impacted by these things. And we want to amplify and uplift the stories in these communities. And lastly, we want to engage the local communities and also our Congress members, new and old, on these things and let them know what they can do and how they can vote to protect our children.
Exciting. So this is like really, really amazing because Moms Clean Air Force has been a leader in diversity when bringing our moms together. And we had Eco Madres that was rolled out last year. Community RX is being rolled out this year during Black History Month. And I know there's some celebrations that are going to be going on as we tie in Martin Luther King Day, Black History Month, but really bringing our moms together. Shakeila, can you talk a little bit just about the importance of diversity in this conversation and just why this is really, really a big deal?
Absolutely. You know, we in the Black community, we often talk about having a seat at the table and demanding a seat at the table. And this entire program is one of those things where we're encouraging people. We are impacted by this. We want to be the ones that are making decisions about what's happening to our communities and around our communities. And so when we think about Dr. Martin Luther King and other people that have been so impactful in civil rights movements and human rights movements, then we have to realize that a part of service and a part of growing means that every single person that is represented in society should be represented at the table.
Absolutely. Well, it's a beautiful program. I love there's some aspects of it I love. One of them, got my fan out, is the Breath of Life Bible Study. So I'm from the South, y'all.
Jesus
So I
came
love.
through.
I love. Look,
Jesus came through.
I love a good church fan. I do. I love a good church
Listen.
fan.
Listen, you all do not want to, if you are a person of faith, if you are a person of the Christian faith, even if you are just interested in reading literature, you do not want to miss out on this Bible study curriculum. To think about what a gift, what a blessing we have in the earth, and how we should take care of it, and how we should also advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. This Bible study really, really focuses on Dr. King's beloved community. It focuses on diversity and equity, and it also focuses on justice. And that's what we want. That's ultimately what we want. I mean, you finish this Bible study, you are ready to shout, and you are ready to do something. You want to know immediately what you can do. And this Bible study will help you figure that out for yourself, for your children and family, and for your community at large.
I love it. I love it because, it just, again, it exemplifies how diverse Moms Clean Air Force is. Because even if you are not a person of faith, even if you are not, if you're a person of a different faith, you consider yourself agnostic, It's perfectly okay. You are welcome here in this space. This is why I love this organization. And it's because we can bring together, and moms bring together our love for our children, no matter what you look like, where you come from.
Yes, yes,
We are
yes.
collectively trying to make sure that we are working to bring moms together in the beautiful fabric of who we are. And this is another just great facet. So, I just want to stress that to our audience. Hey, if you say, okay, Heather and Shakeila, that's nice for Black Christian folks, but I'm a white Jewish mother in Oregon. What do I do? Guess what? We can all work together. This is what makes it so lovely. We are all here and all
Well, and
together.
to be perfectly honest, there were many voices that had a part in this Bible study coming to pass and being published. And I think that it's evident from the inclusive nature of how it's written, that it's not just for a person of the Christian faith.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, I know that I think Dr. Tanya Howard Calhoun is on or around somewhere. And Shakeila, I think we may have to say goodbye to you in order to bring Dr. Calhoun on. But if she is on, I'm going to bring her on just to talk about a few activities. Dr. Calhoun has been working with us and working with the Community RX program, specifically to engage our volunteers and to be involved in some of the activities that are going to take place around this, which I think everybody will enjoy. And again, I want to stress, this is not like we have to we still have to get out of all of our little stereotypical thinking. I see her, she's there, wonderful. Okay, so Shakeila.
1 second. I
Yes.
just want to say, for those of you who are my personal friends, please follow Moms Clean Air Force South Carolina. And we look forward to seeing you all in Atlanta for the launch next month.
Yes.
Thank
Yay,
you.
yay, yay. I see your red and white, Shakeila. I didn't miss it. I see
Did you see that though?
that.
J13. Don't say.
Delta Sigma Theta is representing through Shakeila Stuckey James. Thank you, Shakeila.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Bye bye, Shakeila. All right. As she logs off here, and we're trying to still figure out how to do this here. There we go. We again stress that this is one facet of all of the great things that are happening through Moms Clean Air Force. And I can't stress it enough. The beauty of our organization is that we have so many diverse collective groups that are coming together, that are working together. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm not Latina, so I can't go to Echo Madres. Yes, you can. Absolutely. 100%. You can go have a wonderful time. We are very inclusive, and we are stressing we are mom partisan, and part of our role is to bring mothers together to show our collective unity in fighting on behalf of our children for climate. So I'm going to try and see if I can get Dr. Tanya Howard Calhoun in. And Dr. Calhoun, you may have to request to be added or go on screen. Thank you all for being so patient with us in our understanding and learning how to operate our Facebook Live here with guests. It's definitely been an adventure, a good one to say the least. But I'm going to see if we can get Dr. Calhoun on screen here. Let's see here. Okay, it may come, it may not. Well, there we go. I see her. And we are now bringing Dr. Tanya Calhoun on. Dr. Tanya Howard Calhoun, I am so glad I can call her a personal friend of mine, but also the absolute premier expert on volunteer and volunteer engagement. And we have been lucky enough to get her to help us with our Community RX program and to help with our launch and our kickoff. And Tanya says that it's adding you, so I'm just waiting for you to show up on screen. I'm sure you're going to pop up here in just a second. No problem. But until I see your face, I'm going to keep talking about how awesome you are. So Dr. Calhoun actually has a PhD in volunteer management. She is the absolute best when it comes to coordinating and pulling folks together. In fact, I'm excited to know her because she's one of the key people who's working on pulling folks together for the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Amazing. And we have truly benefited from her knowledge to be able to come and help us here uh, with our community RX program. So she's been working hand in hand with Shakeila Stuckey James. There's some great activities they have planned for the Atlanta, Georgia, and South Carolina area. So this again is really exciting for us because this will be the first time we've really done work like this in the Southeast. And we've had a lot of our volunteers in the Southeast that have said, hey, show us some love in the South. We know we might not always seem like we have very environmentally friendly folks, but we do. We're here, and we heard you. So we are kicking off our Community RX program in the Southeast, in Georgia, and in South Carolina. And they have some great activities that are lined up, and that hopefully, we'll be able to roll out some of those live next time, because the beginning of the month in February will be the same time that we're doing this. Okay, so Dr. Calhoun keeps telling me that the connection failed. I don't know why it won't let me add you. I think it's all a plot to keep your awesomeness undercover, but we're going to figure it out. So we'll keep trying to see if we can get her added. In the meantime, a couple of just other really quick things to bring everybody up to speed on in our last few minutes. This is going to be a pivotal year to stay focused on the fight on climate. It's 2019. There are a lot of folks that are starting to come out and have a conversation about 2020 and what that means in terms of the upcoming presidential election. So a lot of people starting to throw their hat in the ring, and a lot of people are starting to throw their hat with climate. Listen carefully. Listen carefully to what people have to say. Listen to what their thoughts, ideas, and plans are. And ask yourself the question, is this something that's positively impacting my children, my community? Does it make sense? Is it workable? Because everybody can say the word green and not have a plan if they think green is going to get them votes. We want to make sure that we are very thorough in our thoughts about programs and ideas that will that are workable to protect our children's health. Workable, that's important. Workable, implementable, not just table talk, but actually implementable plans that we can start to really manage with the help of our local and our state and our federal officials to see some great change take place. I think we have some really big opportunities here in 2019 to work on the federal level with our new Congress, with those three things I told you about. Do you remember what they are? Did you forget? I'll remind you. Wheeler nomination, Mercury and air toxic standards, and introducing yourself to your new member of Congress to tell them that you're a member of Mom's Clean Air Force and that we were looking forward to working with them to make sure that they are protecting our children and protecting our children from air pollution and really acting on climate. So let's stay vigilant. I want to remind everybody, please check out our website at momscleanairforce.org. It is regularly updated with resource material and information you need. And then there's some things that, like, you say you need some additional information on, go to the website or drop us a note, send us a line. You can even drop a note in the comments and then we'll follow up with you. We want to make sure that we are here to be the resource you need us to be and to support you, even if you're talking to your local officials, your state officials, or your federal officials. We're here to help. I see that the Community RX launch is February the 18th through the 24th, 2019. So the week of February the 18th through the 24th, 2019 in Atlanta, Georgia, we couldn't add Dr. Tanya Howard Calhoun, but she is sending us notes and she's saying, come and get involved with us in Atlanta. That's when the Community RX launches. So if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area, you can come and help us out specifically right there in those communities. Or if you're not in the Atlanta area, but you say, I still want to do something, you can send us a note, you can send us an email. Shakeila and Tanya both have Moms Clean Air Force email addresses, and I'm going to ask them just to type in their email addresses into the comments here real quick so that people can connect with them and make sure that you can find out what you can do in your own community at the same time that we're having this launch. So we want everybody to come together wherever you are. I know there's going to be some tree planting going on. I'm getting some nice fresh new gloves so that I can get out there and get dirty, and bring in Devin Benjamin, my son, with me. So, and he likes to get dirty anyway. So that I don't know how many trees might get planted with or without Devin. I don't know. We'll find out, but we'll have a good time. Everyone, thanks so much for joining us from all over the country. We are excited to be back here in 2019 with Moms Talk Climate. Be sure to set your reminder every first Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be right here to bring you up to speed on what's happening, the latest and greatest, and giving you something to do. So make sure that you check back in with us. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.